So, hi everyone. A very good evening to one and all. I'm sure you're excited how you are going to make your salary work for you. So, my name is Steffi, and I'm the host for this webinar. And I have Mr. Sujoy, who is the CEO of OAWA. So he'll be here. He's an expert. He has 28 years of experience in financial strategy, wealth management, etc. So he's the expert here who will help you understand how we salaried people. I'm sure we all of us are salaried professionals get stuck. What are those traps and how to come out from those traps? So I'll not take much time here. Over to you, Sujoy. In case you guys have any questions, please drop in the Q&A section for us to answer towards the end. Thank you.
Perfect. So, thank you, Steffi. Thanks for this wonderful introduction. And we are good to go. Can all of you hear my voice and the audio and the video is coming clear? You can quickly write in the chat box whether everything is coming clear. Okay, super. All right, great. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Sujoy, and I'm going to conduct today's session, which is going to be approximately 45 minutes. And thanks for making the time, all of you. If you are a salaried professional and who is working hard and earning decently, and yet feels strangely stuck with this money, this next 45 minutes is for you. My promise is very simple. My promise is that you will walk away with a new way of how you look at your salary. A simple step which you can just plug all the money leakages which is happening from your system. A very simple step to plug the leakages, and you will walk away with the first step. The first step so that you can execute in the next 24 hours, which you can execute in the 24 hours. You do not need to shift your job. You do not need to look for anything to change your overall finance trajectory. Great. You're all set? Absolutely. Let's get started. Firstly, let me start with first polling question. Here it goes. Take 30 seconds to answer the first polling question. How much of your salary usually survives by the 25th of the month? By the 25th of the month. Okay. Okay, super. Last few seconds. Okay. All right, let me quickly share the results. So 25% says more than 30%, 35% says 10 to 30%, less than 10% says 25%. Okay, so let me quickly publish the results. Good. All right, let's move ahead. Somebody says not able to hear. I am sure you are all able to hear. I do that. Okay, let's move ahead. What you will take away is those hidden financial traps. We will discover the three hidden reasons why professionals feel that financially they are trapped despite steady incomes. That's the first thing. The second one is beyond budgeting. We will understand why, despite all the family budgets and the saving alone, do not build the wealth. When we are just about doing proper budgeting and saving, still we are unable to build the wealth, and what actually we need to do in order to achieve that. The third thing is we will discover on the spot today how there are leakages happening from our salary. And most people never notice that, which drains our financial potential. And we will look at a new way of a financial engine, a new way to view your salary as a financial engine that generates wealth automatically. And it's going to be a step-by-step system that removes all the risk and stress and guesswork from the personal finance. Super. Does this absolutely make sense? Can I have a quick thumbs up from everyone that this truly makes sense, that this really is something that I'm looking for? Great. Let's move ahead. So there are a few house rules. Your phones have to be on silent mode. Okay. Second, if you hear your problem described, write it down in the chat box. If while I'm talking, if you hear that I'm talking about a problem which you are suffering from, write it down. Okay. And use the chat box to answers whenever we ask you questions. There is nothing wrong or right in this group over here. This is an absolute safe zone to pass judgment. We are not here to pass any judgments on anybody. Okay. This presentation is only to bring about clarity. Perfect. Let's move ahead. So, do you see yourself here? Where do you see yourself? Like the first 10 days, the salary credited is mostly gone by the 10th. How many of you have this feeling that, oh, by the 10th of the month, the salary is mostly gone? Or we are confused between saving and investing. We earn our money in the form of salary. It comes and hits our banks. We save our money, but still it doesn't really accumulate into our wealth. You know there is a difference between saving and investing, but truly can't make out the difference. And then there are those lost years. There are no clear record of what you have done in the last 5 years and how that entire 5 years have went by. You have worked hard, you have earned your money, but there is very little to show. Is this something which is suffering anybody in the group here? Write yes in the chat box that this is something that I'm truly looking to get out of it. Get out of it. Yes, thank you so much. Great. Let's move ahead. What is the real trap? It is not the salary that keeps you stuck. It is the way our money system is designed. I will repeat. The real trap, and it's like a slippery slope. Every salaried person who has not identified a proper money system in the form of wealth creation is on a slippery slope downwards. And it is not that we do not receive increments. Despite the increments, we remain stuck. It is the way our entire money system is designed. Okay. Now, if the system is weak, even a higher salary leaks out. If a system is weak, even a higher salary leaks out. Okay. If the system is strong, this even a modest salary compounds into wealth. Even a modest salary compounds into wealth. Today, we are going to move ahead and figure out how a small salary or even a modest salary can be truly transformed into real wealth. Let's do some mental accounting quickly. Okay. There are three hidden reasons why we suffer from this. Number one, let us pull out the engine apart. So there are three hidden reasons why most professionals stay stuck. We'll do some mental accounting here. We actually label the money wrongly. We treat salary like spending money. When salary hits our account, we start to think that this money has to be spent, not wealth capital. We do not think that salary in the bank it translates to wealth. Okay. This single mindset actually affects people in terms of crores of rupees. The second one is the safety paradox. Now, what is the safety paradox? Sometimes even a 50,000 rupees EMI feels safe and we feel that we are doing enough responsible job compared to even a 50,000 rupees SIP, which sometimes feels risky and uncertain. How many of you think that 50,000 rupees EMI is safer than a 50,000 rupees SIP? Right? Yes, in the chat box. Right? Yes, in the chat box or in the Q&A section. Like if you think that 50,000 rupees EMI is safer than 50,000 rupees SIP. These labels drive the chaos and the choices. We are today in this session, we are going to relabel the first 20% as assets and not expenses. Every time a money hits our bank account, we need to start to treat it like wealth capital. These words will change the reality in the way things we start to look at our wealth. Second, the second hidden reason is salary leakage. There are five big reasons when we start to lose salary in the form of leakages. After we go through this, we are going to do some on-the-spot exercises to figure out how that affects us. What the first thing that we call is a lifestyle creeping. That is a subtle drift upwards. All of us, every human being, have a tendency to keep pushing our lifestyle higher and higher. It's a subtle drift upwards, and that follows the peer pressure. This new restaurant out there, that new upgraded car, the premium subscriptions, the coastal roads, all of that, the small little things add up to that. The second one, that EMIs that crowd out, multiple EMIs that crowd out your investing capacity. Every time we walk into a supermarket, every time we walk into some malls during Diwalis and other times, we swipe our card and we think, let's convert this into EMI. Sometimes a 3-month EMI, 6-month EMI, 12 months EMI. We have multiple EMIs running, and these EMIs are not adding to asset building, but these EMIs are adding to these are because of our expenses. Each of these EMIs shrink our ability to invest. That's the second leakage. The third one is low return insurance. How many people over here, right? Myself in the chat box, everybody who has an investment done in the form of an insurance, right? Myself in the chat box, all those of you who have done insurance, yes, insurance, thinking that these are fantastic investment products. Insurance products are sold as investments which deliver just about 4 to 5%, when equity gives around 12% long-term return. The fourth one, the credit card trap. Credit cards, the interest rates are in the range of 36 to 42% per year, and late payment fees are that drain out thousands of monthly. Many of us live on credit card due dates to due dates. And then there are those forgotten subscriptions. We swipe on Netflix, we swipe on OTT platforms, various apps and gym and chat GPT, these memberships, many of those which we never use. These are the silent big salary leakages. Okay, let's move on. The third reason is dependence on increment. Now, what is dependence on increment? We feel that when our money income is actually losing steam, we wait for that annual increment letter. We depend on our increments to feel that our life is getting better. We wait for those HR letters. Waiting for HR letters to save you, hoping that the next appraisal will fix everything. Big trap. Raises, all those salary raises help, but actually systems build wealth. All the salary hikes help in paying off the bills. Systems actually build the wealth. One is a temporary relief. The other one is a permanent change. What we are going to look today, you do not need a new job. You do not need that another increment to move to a different zone. How many of you would like to take a pledge today in this session by writing the word I pledge in the chat box or in the Q&A section, where I can get to see, let me see how many of you write the word I pledge to move out of a saving zone into an investment zone. Write the word I pledge in the chat box, in the Q&A section, all of you. I want to see hundreds of you write the word I pledge to move out of this zone. Okay, let's move ahead. We are going to do a quick 60 to 90-second salary leakage calculator. Okay, all of you take out your notebook and pen, and we are going to do this quick exercise together. Okay, and you don't need to reveal anything to anyone. Okay, this is absolutely safe and silent zone. Okay, number one, write down your net in hand salary. Write down the net in hand salary this month. Quickly, write down the net in hand salary this month on your notebook. Second, add up all the fixed costs, your rent that you're paying, your home EMI, any other EMIs, your insurance premium, the school fees, all those things that you cannot skip. What is your total fixed cost expenditure every month? For example, suppose your net hand salary is, let's say, 50,000 rupees, and your all this rent and EMIs and insurance add up to, let's say, 30,000 rupees, right under fixed cost 30,000 rupees. Third, living essentials. These are all the little variable costs. These are essentials, okay? Like your groceries, your utility bills, your transportation. These prices, these expenditures can go up and down depending upon how much money you're spending on them. Groceries, utilities, transportation. This is the real cost of keeping your household running. Fourth, I want you to now all calculate the real leakage. Think about, I will give you some time, think about all the auto payments that happens, that YouTube subscription, that credit card interest, that lifestyle crib. Okay. Now those small little additional expenses that calculate your leakage from the system. Write done in the chat box once you have done it. Write done in the chat box once you're ready. I will move ahead then. Take your time. Net in hand salary, fixed costs, living essentials, calculate the leakages. Write done in the chat box once you're done. Okay, I can see some Donald Rodriguez, Romit Thakkar, Vivek, write done. Okay. Now, we will calculate the leakage score. Now, what is leakage score? The group number 4, the leakage, divided by the salary and write that percent. If you're above 12%, you're in the red zone. If you're between 6 and 12, you're in an amber zone, and less than 6 is in the green zone. Write in the chat box how many of you are in the red, amber, green. Write in the chat box whether you are in a green zone, amber zone, or red zone. Great. Super. Green, amber, green, amber, green, amber, red, red, red. Okay. 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 Now, final comes the free cash available. The free cash available is the salary minus the fixed, minus the living, minus the leakages. How many of you have that percent less than 20? How many of yours salary minus fixed minus living minus leakages is less than 20? Write your name in the chat box. Is less than 20. How many of yours salary minus fixed minus living minus leakage is less than 20? Okay. There's nothing to be. Today we are here to take the first step and the pledge to move on from a saving zone to an investment zone. Okay. So there is nothing right and wrong in this. Okay. All right. Let's move ahead. So why budgeting and saving fail? This is something which needs to be understood in little detail. So here is another truth that usually stings a lot of people. Now, what is it? Budgets actually cut the cost. They will make you feel that you are very disciplined. Okay. They always never build assets. Budgeting will never help you build assets. Savings, on the other hand, will park the money safely in a bank at 3 or 4%. Right. And now the thing is this, investing, on the other hand, puts your money to work at the rate of 12% on an average over a long period. You do not need a strict budget. You need a system that converts salary into assets automatically. You need a system that converts salary. How many of you are taking a pledge to learn how to convert your salary into an asset automatically? That is the word. Write your name in the chat box. Your salary is the financial engine. Now, the way to look at it is not to think about salary as just an income. Start looking at your salary as your financial engine. It is every engine has got cylinders. This is 4 cylinders. In this business of financial engine, there are 4 cylinders. Cylinder number 1 is the inflow discipline. Now, inflow discipline is on the day of salary. The moment money arrives, your system should get activated. Number one. Number two, buffers. The second buffer is the second cylinder. The buffers that protect you or plan from life surprises. Now, these buffers, now, for example, your medical expenditures, maybe your job loss, maybe some repairs, 6 months of expenses, and all of that. This is the big buffer. The third engine is the SIPs. SIPs buy assets by default. No decision fatigue, no price watching, no news driven panic. They just move money into an ownership. From a zone of being just a saver, you start to become an investor. And then the cylinder number four is the review process. 30 minutes every quarter is what you need to ensure that you move into a zone of wealth creation and remain steady at that. Now, the four gear. So in this engine, there has to be a gear. There is a cylinder. So obviously there are gears. Gear number one, ability to map out all the inflows and outflows on one page. Complete the visibility. So what do? You can definitely write down, you take out your page and write down all the inflows on one page and all the outflows on the same page. Okay. You have already done that. You have identified the leakages very clearly. So after this session, clearly sit down, take out your notebook and pen and write down the leakages one by one steadily over the next 24 hours. This speed, why the reason I'm asking you to do this in the next 24 hours is to ensure that this momentum that gets built in this session gets translated into a commitment hereafter. Gear number three. Gear number one, map out everything. Gear number two, plug the leakages. Gear number three, reallocate to assets. Reallocation to assets is with a very simple rule where you are able to move your money from just being a saver to a zone where they start to build assets for you, where you start to grow at the rate of 11% and 12% instead of being stuck at something which is 3 and 4. And gear number four, super critical, set this and forget it for in the near term. Okay. Check it and adjust it once in every quarter. Now let's build your salary map once again. Line one, salary and bonus, every rupee that comes in. Line number two, fixed must pays, which you've already done, your rent, EMIs, insurance, school fees, all of that. Perfect. Line number three, all your living costs, groceries, utilities, transportation. Line number four, leakages. And what's left is that fuel for your assets. Clear, everyone? Can I have a quick thumbs up that this is absolutely clear, that this is where we need to move? Can I have a quick yes in the chat box? Okay, super. What we need to do in the next 24 hours. After we go back home today, you need to cancel 2 unused subscriptions. I do not know which 2 unused subscriptions you're going to cancel, but you need to figure out 2 unused subscriptions that you have not been using, that you haven't opened for months, that gym membership, or it could be something, some OTT subscription, maybe some YouTube, maybe some Spotify premium, something that you have not used for months is something that you're going to get. Second, fixed, you might have multiple credit cards, fix at least 1 credit card fee. Call them up, call up the call center, call and negotiate away 1 credit card fee or the interest charge. Banks quite often, based on request, often waive on request. And number 3, convert or exit a low return policy. Sit down with all the insurance policies that you have, insurance and other endowment or ULIPs. That ULIP or endowment which just has been given 4% return or 5%, convert that into a higher yielding asset or exit after taking some advice. Clear, everybody? What needs to be done in the next 24 hours? Write yes in the chat box. Very clear that what I need to do in the next 24 hours. Clear? Give me a second. Okay, super. Let's move ahead. Now, after you plug these leakages, what do you need to do next? What you need to do next is reallocate to assets with certain rules. Okay. The first step is to lock a core SIP at 20%. 20% of your in-hand salary, non-negotiable, automatic, consistent, month on month, moves into SIP. Period. That is where the real wealth starts to happen. Step number 2, start with some core categories. Core categories includes the big space where the big investors club, the large cap, the flexi cap options, the proven stable diversified funds, absolutely regulated and regulated well by SEBI. Step number 3, once you have done your core categories, add a mid and small cap to that. Add a mid and small cap to that. Use these SIPs for mid and small caps only after core is running. Never add mid and small caps before you have add the core. If you are looking at, because mid and small is a higher risk. When you're adding higher risk, it needs to have a foundation first. Clear? And then comes step number 4. You're going to include the debt investments for all the buffers. You will keep debt for buffers and gold matching, because there would be years of volatility, years where you would need certain emergency funds when your goal is coming nearer, and for all the stability that you need. Perfect? Can I have a quick thumbs up that this is loud and clear? Step 1, lock core SIPs at 20%. Step 2, start with core categories. Step 3, add your mid and small caps. And step 4, debt for buffers. Clear? Perfect. Let's move ahead. Automate the entire process like your chat GPT. You enter and you get a response, right? You automate the process and review. Automate SIPs immediately. Automate SIPs the day. So your salary hits on 5th of every month, SIPs hits your bank on 6th of every month. Remove the decision-making process. Remove any kind of delay and remove any kind of excuse from this decision. Okay? Automate. And I think all those who have checked my LinkedIn account also knows that, I've written a post that being disciplined is very, very bitter. In the initial phase of remaining disciplined is very bitter. Both karwa hai, till success hits you. Making that first 1 crore is always bitter. But your next 1 crore happens at double faster the time. Half the time, sorry, not double fast, half the time. This is where the journey begins. Second, calendar quarterly review. On your calendar, have a quarterly review process of 30 minutes. Set the date now. Make it non-negotiable. Suppose we are in the month of October now. You start the process every October, January, April, July. You will have this review. Rebalance only for large drift. Just because the markets have taken a knocking, do not rebalance. If you notice a large drift, only then you rebalance. And what should be the drift? The drift should be at least at 10%, or your goal has changed. Any kind of rebalancing has to be based on 3 factors. Number 1, there has been an income change. Number 2, your goal has changed. Or 3, there is a change in family responsibility. Under these 3 circumstances, only then you rebalance. Avoid constant tinkering. Clear? Perfect? Thumbs up. Can I have a quick thumbs up from everybody? Rebalance only under these 3 circumstances. Quick thumbs up in the chat box, everyone. Perfect. Let's move ahead. Now, This is a case study. Now, how does a person build a large wealth without waiting for increments, without waiting for a job change? Now, most professionals and salaried actually think that we really need to move fast and change jobs, go for increment, and it doesn't work that way. For thousands of professionals and salaried people out there in the markets, in the companies, let me give you a real story. This story is about a 32-year-old professional who has stayed in the same company and same salary band for almost 3 years. This is a real life story. Okay, please listen to this attentively. This is a story of a 32-year-old professional who has stayed in the same company and in the same salary band for almost 3 years. So, what are the things he did? He plugged all the leakages. He locked 20% of his in hand salary into SIPs, and he set buffers for about 6 months. Okay, and he did his quarterly 30-minute review every quarter. At the end of it, he built a 75 lakh asset in 3 years' time. Same job, but a different outcome. How many of you are taking a pledge to move into this zone where you are able to build this kind of wealth? Right? Yes, in the chat box, each one of you. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Super. So, what is the real cost of delay? What is the real? Every month, how many of you know that every month that we are delaying in taking our decision actually costs us lakhs of rupees? Somebody asked me, can I start later? Can I start in the month of January? As if something is going to change in the month of January. The only thing which is getting less and less in our life is time. If you have less time, you will have lesser wealth. It doesn't matter whether you are starting with a 50,000 SIP or a 20,000 SIP or a 5 lakh SIP. Or it doesn't matter whether you're earning 12% or 10% or 9% or 20%. The amount of time that you give your money to stay invested in the market helps in building something brilliant called compounding. I will give you a classic example. If you invest 25,000 rupees a month for 15 years at 12%, 25,000 rupees for 15 years at 12%, your corpus, compared to if you wait for 5 years, okay, and then you build at the rate of 12% for the next 10 years. So somebody puts 25,000 rupees, 15 years, 12%. Somebody does 25,000 rupees, 10 years, 12%. The difference is 68 lakh rupees. The delay is not neutral. It is actually negative. Okay. All right. So what do you do in the next three quick wins? In the next three quick wins in the next 24 hours. Firstly, whenever you see your salary, rename your salary. Do not think salary as salary. It is an engine. Think about your salary as an engine to grow your wealth. Do not just look at it just as a cash flow that comes and disappears. Change the label. Think about it as your wealth engine. You will change the label, and I promise it will change the outcome. The second is plug the three leakages. Plug the three leakages. Whatever you have named today, cancel that subscription, fix the credit card fees, review the policies, those insurance policies and low earning policies, and set your core SIP. Set a core SIP for the next month, beginning next month at 20% of your net in-hand salary, automated and non-negotiable. Start today. So what are the things that you need to start today? Treat your salary like an engine. Plug three leakages in the next 24 hours. Lock core SIP at 20% of salary. Build buffers for 6 months of your expenses. Add 3 months of EMIs and premiums. Keep term and health insurance absolutely clean. Clear credit card interest first. Automate a quarterly review process. Make a one-page salary engine sheet and share with your partner for accountability. Share with your spouse. Absolutely. Your financial future starts today, not next month, not after the next race, but today. How many of you find this absolutely terrific and you want to get into the zone where you are able to build wealth effortlessly and you are absolutely in control of how things are progressing? Super, 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 super. Great. Congratulations, everybody. So, your salary is a wealth engine. But before I conclude this session, I would like to let you know with three diagrams. Your salary is the inflow, plug the leakages, and automate the asset growth. And you would be on a glorious path of a different wealth creation. Perfect? So, the next few minutes, I'm going to give you an opportunity to understand how you can take the first step in building this quickly and faster. So, my name is Sujoy Das. I run this company called OAWA, which is an on which is an office for advanced wealth architecture. So we partner with India's top financial professionals to navigate complex markets and scale wealth management impact. With over 3 decades experience and expertise in managing money across India and overseas, right now we are in an impact zone. We have right now empowered over 3,800 plus leaders and overseen over 25,000 crore of AUM under consultancy as of June 2025. We transform your practice in we transform the practice of wealth managers into a more client-centric, high-efficiency engine and fostering lasting success. How many of you would like to take the first step in building your knowledge and wisdom and figuring out what actually needs to be done next? Can I have a big yes in the chat box? All those of you who want to figure out what needs to be done next. Correct? Absolutely. What I'm going to tell you now is what is on offer. So you can definitely accelerate your wealth journey with us. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting or looking to deepen your expertise. We offer two classic equity investing courses that are designed to propel you towards financial success. The first one is equity investing for beginners, which is over 2 months. And the second one is equity investing for advanced, which is over 3 months. You can decide the path that you would like to follow by clicking on any of those links, and you would be in a journey ahead. I'm going to put the links in the chat box, and you can figure out what makes sense for you. Give me a second. Give me a second, please. The first one is up there. I'll put the second one. Yes, absolutely. So you can decide how you would like to proceed. And with that, I come to the end of today's session. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or ask your question in the Q&A section, and then slowly pick it up one by one. I think there are a few questions out there. Let me start looking at.
Yes, Sujoy, I have picked up few questions, so I'll
Yes.
help you around with the questions, and that was clearly insightful. I
Mhm.
mean, it helped me as well as a salaried individual. We don't think so much. So the
Mhm.
first question we hear for you is: you live with equity exposure or pure equity SIPs? I think this is a choice which people are trying to ask.
So, pure play equity is always superior than you live with equity exposure.
All right. Another question here we have is: some insurance premiums are quarterly. or annual? How should we do? I mean, how should we go about these? Is the question.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Some insurance premiums are quarterly or annual. How do we go about these? Like
Okay.
basically the
So,
choice.
so the difference is in the interest cost. Quarterly, annual will obviously be cheaper for you compared to quarterly. Annual will always work out cheaper for the person compared to quarterly.
Great. Uh, Another question by Romit. Is term insurance a good asset?
Term insurance is not an asset. Term insurance is just insuring your life. It is the price that you're paying, or the money that you're paying to the insurance company to just insure your life in an eventuality. It is not an asset.
Great. Another question by Bhaskar. I have two SIPs running. It's been 2 years and I see only 2 to 3% return. Should I sell it or keep it? I'm
Sorry.
not sure
You
whether
have,
you'll be able to answer this.
you have what running? Two what?
Two SIPs.
Okay. So no, it would be very difficult to give a straight answer, yes and no, on this one. Actually, I'll skip this one.
No problem. There's another question. Uh, is it okay to have insurance policies like Sukanya Samriddhi, which gives you 6% return at debt investment, as it will give tax-free returns? I have suitable term insurance and health insurance. I have emergency fund, month of monthly expenses in the liquid fund. So basically the question is it okay to have insurance policies like these many, which I just called out?
Insurance insures a life. They are not investment products. So it is Sukanya Samriddhi is one of actually government's flagship scheme under the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao initiative. So it's a long-term government-backed savings account overall. So it is basically designed in such a manner to encourage parents to save for education and marriage costs. Okay. Uh, so that's it. So nothing beyond that. And it's not one of those great. So it comes, I think approximately 8.2% is the return on these kind of investments.
Okay. Thanks, Sujoy. There's another interesting question. I'm sure many of us would want to get an answer to this. How do I pay loans faster? Should one stop their SIP to pay loans faster? What would be your suggestions?
Okay. So the question is, how does one repay a loan?
Pay the loan faster, yeah.
By paying off the EMIs sooner. So change the payment rhythm. So if the EMI is of 25,000, you keep repaying 26,000. So maybe instead of one EMI, you repay two EMIs. And so the thing is this, you can repay it faster only if you are able to repay the money faster. Okay. And you can also shift that loan to another bank if they're offering you a loan at a lower interest rate. So by paying the same EMI, you could obviously uh, drop the repayment period. Okay. So the three ways: either you pay little higher EMI amount every month, two, you pay additional EMIs every month, or three, you shift to another bank where a lower interest rate is there.
Thank you, Sojoy. Another question by Atul. The question is, what could be the expenses and EMI percentage of salary? So basically, the question is, if my salary is XYZ, what should be the EMI percentage and what should be the expenses? Like the ratio.
So SIP should EMI percentage. So first, the way to look at it is what we discussed in this session today. Is out of the net hand salary, the first 20% has to move into SIPs. You should start from SIPs and not leave the residual to SIPs. Okay. EMIs should not be more than 25-30% of your net hand salary.
Okay, thanks, Sujoy. Another question by Purva Raghavan. What
Okay.
is the main difference between buying individual equity shares versus SIP investment versus mutual funds? And the continued question is, what is the best for safe and secure investments?
So individual securities, it's like building a house. When you build it yourself, you get the brick and mortar and build it yourself. You're doing it yourself. When you hire a contractor who does it for you, that is like going through a mutual fund. Okay. SIP is a way of investing. SIP is not an investing. SIP is a way of investment that you pay little amount every month to build your house. The contractor who builds the house for you is the mutual fund.
Great. Another question by Rajkumar. What is your view on NPS?
It's a great product for people who have not exposed to any kind of mutual funds. One can definitely look at it.
Should we invest the salary in liquid funds and then redeem them as and when we need them for our SIP debits?
Yeah, that's
Your view on this.
so at least it is superior than keeping money in a bank, but not one of the best ways, but definitely better than keeping money in a bank.
Another question by Nikhil. How much exposure, that is in percentage, should one have to precious metals like gold, silver, etc., in his overall investment?
Okay. Because these are illiquid assets. Gold, so mutual funds, equities, these are liquid assets. Okay. Gold, I wouldn't say liquid asset, but this is another form of asset. It is not a financial asset. It is a physical asset. Okay. How much you would like to keep it there depends how much of money you would definitely like to keep in non-financial. Generally, gold appreciation has been poor over long term. There are periods. So the best performing asset has been equity in India. Okay. Now you need to decide whether you want to move with the best or the second best or the third best. Gold is an asset, definitely, but not the best.
Thanks, Sujoy. Another question by Ramnandan. Uh, Due to present stock market volatility, whether to invest in equity stocks or mutual fund would give good returns more than 12%.
Investments have always yielded superior returns when invested for a period of 5 years or longer. Okay. Investments doesn't work for shorter periods. Volatility is always there in the short, but never in the long term. Okay. So if the investment horizon is 5 years and beyond, whether direct investments or through mutual fund doesn't matter. Both of them will do well. You should select mutual fund when you do not have an expertise yourself to select the funds. When you know how to do it yourself, then you can do it directly. But when you don't know how to do it yourself, that is when you reach out to a mutual fund. Hope it helps.
Enjoy. There's one more question by Anita. You mentioned something on the credit card interest, right? So the question is based on that. What do you mean by credit card interest? If I pay my credit card within time, will I still have any interest to it?
No, if you pay your credit card outstanding before the due date or on the due date, there is no interest which is charged. This affects those people who are unable to pay the entire money on the due date or before. However, every time you use your credit card, obviously that means you take a loan. Credit means you take a credit period. So that 45-day, 50-day period, that means you have taken a loan. Your overall credit score gets impacted every time you swipe your credit card.
Another question. Someone Ramanathan wants to know whether he can invest for long term in global stocks with countries like UK, US, and Japan.
Very difficult to give a straight answer, yes or no.
What's your view on SWP, Systematic Withdrawal Plan?
That's fantastic. This is for people who would like to have a equal amount of money coming to them into their bank account because of their mutual fund investments. It's a fantastic product. Particularly, it works well for retirees.
Okay. Another question on home loan. What is the best way to pay less interest for home loan? One, pay the EMI as per records and invest additional amount in SIP and then pay it post 5 to 10 years. That's the first option Chetan has given. The second option he says is pay additional amount from day one. Or the third option, pay the EMI as per records and invest additional amount till the loan tenure. What would be your point of view here out of the three options?
Yeah. So, what is the best way to repay bank home loans? Is that the biggest cost is the interest cost on a home loan. Okay, and the interest component of the EMI. Suppose you're repaying 100 rupees of EMI every month. 80% or 90 rupees out of that 100 would be the interest cost. There are few banks who offer you home loans. However, they adjust your money that you have kept in your savings account against the loan outstanding. That is the best way to, reduce the interest burden.
Thanks, Sujoy. Another question. How about gold ETF and silver STFs? How much percent to be allocated to gold ETF and silver ETF in the overall portfolio?
Under 10% sounds good.
Okay. Thoughts on SIF, specified investment funds, which they will they give better returns than MFs, mutual funds?
They are structured in a manner that the fund manager has more flexibility to play with the risk. Since they can play with more amount of risk, it would be naturally be expected that they deliver little better. But only time will say, because none of the fund managers have any track record on SIFs yet.
Okay. Should we consider PF or NPS contributions while maintaining our equity and debt ratios or at the time of rebalancing our portfolios?
Yes, we should consider both of them when we are looking at our entire portfolio.
Okay. This is a situational question on health insurance. Few years back, I was suggested to buy LIC Health Protection Plus medical insurance and LIC Jeevan Anand Saral endowment plans. Should I discontinue the same endowment plans? We get back amount, but LIC Health Protection Plus doesn't pay back premium. So, your point of view here.
Sorry, I couldn't catch the question entirely. You need to repeat.
Question is on endowment plans.
Okay.
So, someone had suggested LIC Health Protection Plus, which is a medical insurance,
Mhm.
and there's an LIC Jeevan, which is an endowment plan. So the question
Don't
is,
know-
should I
I don't,
discontinue the same?
I don't know in details of any of these two.
How to invest on government bond?
Through through a GSEC fund, through a GSEC mutual fund, government securities mutual fund.
Um, which is better, buying physical gold or sovereign gold bonds or gold ETF? Your point of view.
Sovereign gold bonds.
Okay. The last question I have over here. What's your view on PPF? Is it a good investment long-term plan considering the tax benefit it provides?
And it's not one of the best long-term products. It's not one of the best.
Okay, great. I think we'll wait for another 2 more minutes just to see if there are any more questions coming in.
But I guess there were at least 20 or more.
Yeah, more than that.
Hmm.
Some were repetitive.
Right. But thanks, you could help me go through them and ask me straight.
No problem. Okay, I have few more questions which just came in.
That one.
Um, People feel that RBI has stopped sovereign gold bonds. Is it true?
RBI has stopped sovereign gold bonds. Answer is true.
Okay. Is pre-closure of home loan beneficial?
Absolutely. You save on interest.
Like, what is set core SIP? Many have asked.
Set core SIP is that one of the net in-hand tax, in-hand salary, you keep a set 20% as your core investments in SIPs first.
Does term insurance and health insurance one and the same?
No, term insurance is an insurance that money that you receive after your death. Health insurance is the insurance money that you receive when you are sick and admitted in hospital.
I already have a company health insurance of 5 lakhs.
Mhm.
Is it good to take a top-up premium, or you recommend to take a personal health insurance, as I am at the age of 37 with one wife, one wife and one kid? Sorry, I read it the other way around. Sorry, Santosh.
Yeah, but that brought in the humor. Yes, so topping up a health insurance policy works out cheaper than buying an additional policy.
Okay. Prepayment of home loan or investment in SIP of extra money. Not sure what did
Sorry,
that
I
mean.
didn't catch the question. Prepayment of?
The question is only incomplete. Prepayment of home loan. Okay, that's a choice being asked. Prepayment of home loan is better, or investment in SIP for extra money is better.
Investment in SIP is superior because the markets will deliver higher than the home loan interest that you pay.
Is investments on agriculture business better than SIP?
Wrong person. I will skip this. No idea.
Where should one invest in current market situation?
Where should one invest in current market situation?
Current market situation.
One should invest in those asset classes after looking at their previous long-term returns, irrespective of the market situation.
Okay. Any best stock suggestion for buying now to get good profit or for short term?
No, no, pass. No, no response.
I think mostly majority of the questions we have covered previously, so I'm not repeating them.
Super.
When talking on long-term SIPs, is it true we have to reinvest up to 1.25 lakh every year to utilize the tax benefit?
1.25 lakhs is the benefit that you receive. So obviously you have to invest much more than that for the kind of capital gain to be there.
Yeah, I think
1.5 is the benefit.
we'll take the last question for the day.
All right.
I already had a term insurance of 75 lakhs, and I choose the option of limited period from quota of 10 years and then ended this year. Now I would like to increase my term cover. Should I choose the same insurance vendor which I took already for 75 lakhs, or is it good to take other insurance good vendors?
No, you should always compare all the options that you have. You can go for the same or go with an additional one. Irrespective
And
of that, it's always both of them will be excellent.
okay, there was one or two questions regarding the courses which are displayed on the screen.
Hmm.
So the audience wanted to know what are the key takeaways out of these programs, like what they will be able to learn out of these two programs.
So they would be the first one for the beginners. They would be learning how to have a very clear, jargon-free understanding about investing principles, actionable strategies for immediate application, and they would be able to build a lasting overall financial understanding and investment portfolio. The the advanced one is for people who have some basic understanding, while but looking to build the in-depth analysis of market trends and valuation techniques.
Great. I think that helped all of us understand a little more in detail about how we can make our salary work and be aware of the traps we are in currently. I'm sure many of us would have a homework to do individually or with their partners. So thank you so much for walking us through this information. It was quite beneficial. Thank you so much, Joy. And thank you, everyone. So we'll soon update you about the next session we'll have in the coming month. Till then, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening. Bye.
Bye bye.